Hello YouTube, this is ChardarYuGiOh here with a YGO Omega Daily Duel, playing what I believe is one of the most obnoxious new decks we've gotten in a very long time. And that is, of course, Floowandereeze. We're playing the Dogmatika variant today, and Eglin on its own actually does essentially nothing. We can search normal summon it, search M-Pen, and then Nadir Servant and pass. I think it's almost better to just lead on Nadir Servant and normal summon Ecclesia. Opponent has an Ash. Well, we have a cross out for that. Going to declare Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. How does this work? Okay. Banish Ash Blossom, dump. So we can dump Titantaclad, search Ecclesia, but then we have no other Dogmatika cards. I think we're actually just going to dump Fair Sheet to try to draw a card. Search Ecclesia, effective Fair Sheet, draw an M-Pen that we have to search with Eglin. That's not good at all. I think we actually put M-Pen back on the bottom so we can use Eglin's effect later. Normal summon Ecclesia, activate effect, search punishment, set punishment, and pass the turn. So one punishment is not a lot of disruption. Our opponent is down to 5 cards. Reinforcement of the army. Are we playing against heroes again? Kagamusha Knight, not convinced this is not heroes. Oh, Phantom Knights. Summons Torn Scales, summons Kagamusha. Do we blow things up here? If we blow things up here, our opponent needs to have 2 more extenders. Let's try this here. I don't know if this is correct, but clearing our opponent's entire board feels okay. Activate Intis, blow up Torn Scales. Leave our opponent with nothing. They've already normal summoned, so they need 2 extenders they can special summon to get to their combo. This Phantom Knights deck it's very powerful. Opponent has a Fusion Destiny. Okay, that's the new just activate Red Eyes Fusion and hope it's good enough. Opponent summons Destroyer, Phoenix Enforcer. Really strong card. Goes to battle. Apparently has not read Ecclesia. We take 14. Ecclesia survives. Goes to main phase 2. Do they blow up Ecclesia? We honestly want them to destroy Ecclesia so we can activate our second Nadir Servant at some point down the road. We draw Rabina. Okay, that's a very good draw. We're going to normal summon Rabina, activate effect, so our opponent have a way to negate this. Definitely seems like it. I wonder if they're reading it. These cards are actually fairly simple relative to like how much text they have. Opponent activates Emergency Teleport and Forbidden Droplet. Okay, so Rabina's gonna get negated. Sends Teleport. Negates Rabina. Summons Ghost Ogre. Rabina's negated. We don't have anything we can special summon. We can't special summon because we activated it. We can't use Nadir Servant. I switch this to defense. Pass the turn. This deck can come back out of nowhere. So like if we just top deck, if we somehow survive the next turn and then just top deck another Rabina, I think we're fine, but this is not the opening we wanted to have. Opponent's going to use Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer during our end phase. Too late for us to use Nadir Servant. Activate Destroyer, they lose Ghost Ogre. Destroyer comes back. I'm not convinced but this card is better than Dragoon. I don't think it is, but Fusion Destiny is so much better than Red Eyes Fusion that I'm not sure it matters. Opponent banishes Dasher and Celestial, gets 2 more cards for free. Opponent has a Tour Guide. Okay, opponent has Tour Guide and Kagamushinite. Okay, so we are in... There's no way we're not dead. I'm not going to concede here so you can see... Opponent grabs Graph. I'm not going to concede so we can see what the Phantom Knight deck with Destroy Phoenix Enforcer does, but we are dead. There is no... Make no mistake there. Graph activates Summon Seer. Do they even play Dante anymore? Effective Cherubini. Dump Ancient Cloak. Pump Cherubini. I think we're just dead. If they could just make access code here, and that's all they would need. They are playing into the Nibiru that we're not playing. Makes Appaloosa interesting. Effective Seer. Target Cherubini. Activate Ancient Cloak. Search Silent Boots. Effective Torn Scales. Summons itself back. Just summons itself back for no reason. Special Silent Boots. Makes Boral Sword, and we will concede. That game is super over. All right, game 2 going first. I think Book of Moon and Solemn Strike seems really good against this deck. Well, can we go down? Imperm's not as good as Strike going first. Ryza and Barrier Statue both just seem like they should just automatically win this match. We're gonna go down the Veiler, keep 1 Ash in for our cross out, cut the Gold Sark, try it like that. So we had cross out, we got to resolve cross out. The interface for YGO Omega is like, it's not, like it's fine, it's not clunky, but it was confusing doing that for the first time. Normal summon Rabina, activate Rabina. We will not chain our Book of Moon. Search Eglin, normal summon Eglin, effective Eglin, search Empen, tribute summon Empen, effect of Empen, effect of Eglin, effect of Rabina, search Dreaming Town. We will not normal summon. Activate Prosperity for 6, get rid of 2 Intis, a Fossil Knight, Almirage Gardna. Actually, probably keep an Intis, go down the Cyber Dragons. We definitely don't need those in this matchup. Reveal 6. Grab Solemn Strike. 5 to the bottom. activate Duality. Grab Punishment. Set Dreaming Town. Set Strike. Set Punishment. Set Book of Moon. Pass the turn. Even if our opponent lightning storms us, we can activate the Dreaming Town, summon Robina, and make a huge chain. Opponent has Twin Twisters. That's much less impactful here. I'm also not sure how this deck outs an M-Pen, because this just negates almost all of their effects. Pitches Torn Scales, targets Dreaming Town and Strike. Can't train Dreaming Town because they're doing this in draw phase correctly. We can also flip all of our stuffs face down if we can somehow get to this Ryza. Probably can't without the Dreaming Town. Opponent has Rhoda. Grabs Torn Scales. Another Torn Scales. Normal summons Torn Scales. Sure. Has Kagamusha Knight. Also sure. Summons Cherubini. This is acceptable. Wonder if our opponent knows that they can't use their effects with M-Pen on the board. Like this card is just dumb. Like, you just bring the game down to like where neither player can do anything because you're sitting here on this monster that's like kind of unkillable without like spell or trap cards. Like, maybe this deck just forces the meta to play more like imperms and droplets. Opponent trying to figure out what they can do under M-Pen. I wonder if they didn't read this before they summoned Cherubini. Use the whole minute. We're gonna get a timeout win? Alright, activates Foolish Burial. Sure. This is like a diet Cherubini. They have diet Cherubini in their hand. Dumps Ancient Cloak. Activates Ancient Cloak. Search Silent Boots. Effective Torn Scales. So I think we're going to have to fire off Punishment here just to keep our opponent off Boral Sword. Special Silent Boots. Punishment, target Cherubini. Dump Intis. Can send Silent Boots to the grave to protect it, but I don't think that matters. Activate Intis, target the Torn Scales. Gets banished. Opponent has one more card. We're actually in like activates Emergency's Teleport. Okay. Psychic Wielder. We're gonna Book of Moon the Silent Boots. This will get banished on the end phase. Gets banished on the end phase. Okay, that's the card we needed because we can't actually resolve Eglin here, but we can resolve Robina. So we're gonna use the map, reveal Robina. Stree feels absurd here. Summon Robina. Robina Chainlink 1. Stree Chainlink 2. Stree returns to hand. Grab the barrier statue just because we can. Normal summon Stree. Effective Stree. Banish Torn Scales. Normal summon Ryza. Tribute the Little Birds. Target Silent Boots. Target our own Entis. Activate Robina. Grab Robina back to hand. Spin Boots to the top. Use our actual normal summon for Barrier Statue. Go to battle. And now, where our opponent isn't literally dead, but they're top decking Silent Boots. Alright, opponent concedes. Game 2 is going, or Game 3 going second is going to be much harder. So we're going to go down Book of Moon. We're going to go down Strike. Going to go down 1 punishment. Cross out. I feel like probably doesn't do anything. Maybe we don't go down the punishment. Go up Ash, Drawl, Imperm, Ash, Veiler. Do we want Lightning Storms? This beats Appaloosa and Break Sword. We go down Called By, go down the punishment, and the Barrier Statue is probably not good going second. Bring in Lightning Storms. This might be massively oversighting, but I also don't know how well our deck can play through a disruption. Like, if we normal summon Robina and they Fog Blade it, our turn just ends. So we have to be able to get through, either stop our opponent from doing effectively anything. They could have 4 normal monsters in their hand, set Fog Blade, and we would still be in bad shape. Alright, so we have Drawl, a way to get to the map, but no Floowandereeze and no other disruptions. Not liking where we're at here. Opponent has a tour guide. Sure wish this was an Imperm Reveiler or anything. Cherubini, Graph, Summon Seer, Cherubini, dump Ancient Cloak. And now opponent's thinking makes Rusty Bardiche, effective Seer, target Cherubini, Bardiche, dumps Torn Scales, do they set Shade or do they set Fog Blade? Sets a Fog Blade. We do have Nadir to out that. We also don't have any Floowandereeze cards. Like, this hand is not amazing. Opponent's gonna activate Ancient Cloak, search of Torn Scales. They activate Torn Scales. We're gonna activate Drawl. Probably far too late for this to matter. Opponent summons Torn Scales. Activate Stained Greaves. Summon Stained Greaves. I guess the only thing we have is that they can't Silent Boots. But one Fog Blade should be enough. Opponent thinking through their options. Just makes an Appaloosa. Okay. That's also kind of good against us. So now we're on like top deck Lightning Storm. Summon Silent Boots. They already have it. Summons Wheelator. This draw ended up doing completely nothing. Opponent has an Anaconda because of course they do. Pays 2,000. Dumps Fusion Destiny. Dumps Dasher and Celestial. Summons Destroy Phoenix in defense mode. Those are last two cards in your hand, like relevant back row. You just wanna rub it in a little more. Opponent sets one, presumably relevant back row, and passes. We draw a map. We're going to activate Terraforming. Grab a map. Activate Nadir Servant. I don't think it matters. Dump Fairjeet. Search Ecclesia. Effective Fairjeet. Opponent lets it go. Probably, I guess we just put our bonus map to the bottom. Activate map. Opponent's thinking on the activation of the map. Going to use Destroy Phoenix. Target itself in the map. Activate Destroyer Phoenix. We will normal summon Eglin. I don't think this does anything. Opponent negates, and we will concede. Well, we gotta see the good and the bad of this deck. Going first, this deck was absurd. Going second, a little less impressive. It's like feels a little fragile, but this deck is still very powerful. So GG, opponent.